The 2024 NBA Finals are here. In the Eastern Conference, we have the Boston Celtics, and in the Western Conference, we have the Dallas Mavericks. I was not very right in my round 2 and round 3 predictions. I had Boston winning round 2, but I had New York winning on the other side, so I didn't get the matchup correct. And then in the finals, I didn't even talk about it. I don't think anyone was talking about it. It wasn't really that competitive of a series. This was basically a Boston Celtics home broadcast every single game, which is kind of frustrating. I would have liked to have seen the Indiana Pacers get a little more credit for accomplishing what they accomplished, but they were no match for Boston. The Celtics absolutely annihilated an injury-plagued Miami Heat team in round 1, then they absolutely annihilated an injury-plagued Cleveland Cavaliers team in round 2, and then they absolutely annihilated a not very good Indiana Pacers team in round 3. I take back not very good. Okay, Indiana is a good team, but conference finals team, top 4 team in the NBA, no, they're not that good. Meanwhile, Dallas has gone through the gauntlet. A lot of memes are being posted online of them being battle-tested soldiers or Wild West cowboys, and that's because they've gone through a lot. They took down a really, really good LA Clippers team in round 1. One of the most contentious round 1 series between either conference. Like, there were a lot of people picking the upset, but no one thought it was going to be easy, but they pulled it off. Then in round 2, they took down the Oklahoma City Thunder, which I did not anticipate. I thought they were going to lose that series. So my entire second and third round predictions were pretty invalidated right then and there. And then they took on an extremely good Minnesota team in round 3 with the defensive player of the year anchoring the middle. Anthony Edwards was having a pretty good postseason run. Karl-Anthony Towns had his moments, but ultimately Dallas was just the better team. Won 4 of 5. They just dominated the postseason and are probably the most impressive team right now between the two. But we have to ask the question of rust versus rest. Luka Doncic has already appeared in over 700 minutes. Meanwhile, Jason Tatum, the player who has played the most minutes on the Celtics, has only appeared in 567 minutes. So that's a pretty significant difference in minutes played. That's 3 full games of minutes. Is that going to matter? I don't know. So far throughout the postseason for Boston, Jason Tatum has been producing 26 points a game. He's rebounding, he's passing well, defensively he's there, but he has just been pretty inefficient with his jump shot, especially from deep, only knocking down 29% of his threes on 7 tries a night. That is not what Boston needs. He is a guy who will take a lot of shots. He takes the most shots on the team. He's only hitting 44% of them. Meanwhile, Jaylen Brown, who takes 1.5 less shots per game, he's making 54% of his shots and 36% of his threes. If Boston can try to either Jason Tatum needs to get it going, or they need to get the ball into Jaylen Brown's hands a little bit more, I think that would help them out a lot. We obviously have to pay attention to Kristaps Porzingis. He played 4 games in round 1, was a bit shaky, kind of just a catch and shoot 3 guy who didn't really do a whole lot else on the offensive end. He was a good defensive player, but wasn't producing a whole lot on offense. Only scored 12 points a night in 26 minutes of action. But when he comes back from injury, I expect him playing probably a little bit over 30 minutes a game and hopefully scoring a bit more. Porzingis, he's had his moments in the playoffs. He hasn't played a ton of playoff games, but he has had some really big moments. Boston needs him to have some big moments right here, right now. And this is extra spicy because he's going against his former team. Porzingis went to Dallas with a ton of hype. That was such a big deal when it happened, and it just never really amounted to anything. Like, Dallas was never that competitive. He was always dealing with some sort of injury come postseason time, and Dallas just never got anywhere. So when he was dealt away, there was a little bit of hard feelings, I'm sure, on both sides. Dallas was probably disappointed and upset with how Porzingis was just unavailable. And then Porzingis was upset with Dallas probably for, casting him to the wayside in favor of the younger European. Meanwhile, for the Dallas Mavericks, they have a guy going through a very similar thing. Kyrie Irving was he was the face of the franchise for the Boston Celtics for a short while there. They acquired all these young players. Irving flat out said, "I don't want to play with these young players." I might not be 100% right on that, but that's how I remember it. He didn't want to be there anymore. He was flipping off fans. I think he did that actually in Brooklyn, but the point is, he was not happy in Boston. They boo him a lot when he goes back. He's had a pretty good postseason run, although I will admit he's had some duds. Kyrie, he'll have a big game, and then he'll have a game where he'll score single digits. I'm going to actually pull it up real quick. I want to see his game log. Maybe I'm just remembering wrong. He's only, like, against the Minnesota Timberwolves, he was pretty good. He was on his A game. He had multiple 30-point games, averaged 27 a night, shot 37% from deep. Kyrie was pretty stinking good. It was against the Thunder where he had his struggles. But he is going to have to dig deep, and he is going to have to be as sharp as ever against his former teams for some dramatic nights of basketball. But, of course, the best player on the court, the player that everyone's going to be watching and everyone's going to be talking about, Luka Doncic, is going for his first NBA championship. He's only 24 years old. I had him as the number one player in all of basketball. I thought he should have won the MVP. He finished second, I believe, in MVP voting. So extremely, extremely talented. He's already reached the mountain in basketball by winning the Eurobasket title a few years ago with a very small Slovenia country. Just absolutely no one saw that coming. Now he's trying to reach the NBA summit by winning a title at only 24 years of age. I'm telling you, if Luka wins the championship and retires the very next day, he's a Hall of Famer. And he still has so much more basketball left in him. I know the Victor Wembanyama era is here, but Luka Doncic is right there. He is better than Victor right now, and he is going to be just as good, if not better, for a while to come. 28 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 2.1 stocks per game. He creates his shots better than anyone else on either team. Luka Doncic is going to do what he needs to do to carry this team to victory. It is going to be pretty stinking awesome. I want to pull up just a couple other little things I'm curious about. 3-point shooting, which is an extremely important factor from Dallas. They've been a bit shaky. Maxi Kleber hasn't played a lot. He's made his threes. Kyrie's made his. Jaden Hardy, who hasn't played a lot, has made his. And Derrick Jones Jr. has been pretty sharp, actually way sharper than I think anyone would have expected. I remember back when Derrick Jones Jr. was just a G Leaguer who jumped high. Now he's actually an elite basketball player, which is pretty stinking cool. And then for Boston, you have Peyton Pritchard's been extremely sharp in his limited bit of action. Derek White, hello, he's been great. 17, 4, and 4 with 2.2 stocks per game, knocking down 40% of his threes on 8 tries a night. I saw a meme going around. It was one of these 4 guys is going to get his ring. You had Luka, Edwards, Halliburton, and then it was Derek White. And of course, you're obviously thinking Jason Tatum's going to be that face, but no, they're like, nah, Derek White, this is his team. Porzingis, in his 4 games he played, shooting 40%, Drew Holiday 39%. Like, this team is good. Boston Celtics was built to win a championship. They are probably 1 through 7. They're better than Dallas's 1 through 7. Although, man, I didn't talk about Derek Lively. Derek Lively has been phenomenal. He and Daniel Gafford. You have to give Daniel Gafford just as much credit. They're both playing exactly 21.8 minutes per game. Both are shooting over 61% on their twos. That's all they're doing, just dunking machines. They're both rebounding well. They're both protecting the rim. They're both being everything Dallas needs from them. They are setting good screens. They are finishing lobs. They are getting in people's way. They have been phenomenal. Lively is only 19 years old. If I remember correctly, he did not make the NBA first team for rookies, and I think that's just a darn shame. He was definitely deserving, so maybe he's playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He definitely deserves more credit than he's gotten all season long. But that's enough chit-chatting. It's time for me to actually pick a winner. Okay. Oh man, this is a tough one. There is a team that I would like to see win, and there is a team that I think will win. They might be the same team. I'm not gonna show my cards. The team that I think will win is going to be the Boston Celtics. I know, maybe you hate it, maybe you love it, maybe you think it's the boring option. Maybe you'd like to see the underdogs pull it off. The 50-win team take down the 64-win team. The team who went through it all, taking down the team who had a cakewalk. This is the first year that an Eastern Conference team is favored to win the finals, according to Las Vegas, who usually knows what they're talking about, considering they have all the money in the country. Yeah, I'm going Boston Celtics. I think they're going to win the series in 7. Yep, I'm going 7. That means I'm predicting things pretty precisely here. Both teams will win 3 games. Heck, I think Dallas will win Game 6 in Dallas to push that Game 7. Luka will probably have at least a 150-point game. I bet Kyrie will have like a 40-something point game. But I bet Tatum, Porzingis, and Brown are just going to combine for consistent, 20 to 30-point games over and over and over. The bench of Boston is just too good. Derek White will have a quiet 15. Al Horford will score 12. Peyton Pritchard will knock down a couple threes off the bench. Like Luke Cornett's going to do something. There's just too much. There is just way too much on Boston's team. And I love Dallas's team. Luka's awesome. Kyrie is looking the best version of himself in a very, very long time. PJ Washington, I didn't give him any credit. This dude has stepped up immensely. Like when Charlotte did that big exodus of players from their team, a whole bunch of them just kind of sucked wherever they went. PJ Washington has been phenomenal here in Dallas. He's playing 36 minutes per game. That is the third most on the team. That is how important he has been to this run. My goodness. Tim Hardaway Jr. has gotten benched. 13 minutes a game, only appeared in 10 games. That's deserved. Dante Exum. Oh, got to give some credit to Dante Exum. He's only played, not very much, but this dude was out of the league. He was a lottery pick, absolute bust. People forgot about him. And then just worked his butt off over in Europe to become better and better and better at the little things and got a role back in the NBA and has played that role well with the team all season long. Not getting as much action in the playoffs, but he has been good when he's been on the floor. Okay, he's only shooting 21% from three, so maybe he's not been that good, but it seems like he's been good doing the little things. Yeah, final answer, Boston Celtics in 7. Thank you guys for watching my 2024 NBA season coverage. I will hopefully get some mock draft type things done. I don't know if I'll actually release like a mock draft. I've never done that, but I'm kind of really interested in this upcoming summer's draft just because of how nobody actually knows the order of how things are going to go. I'll look up one respected journalist or YouTuber's prediction and they have some guy going second or third, and then I'll go to another and they will literally have that same guy going 15th. And I think that's super cool. I think that's super fun. I want to make some prospect watch videos breaking down some of these players, so please stay tuned for that. Also, this summer we have the Olympics, so I'm going to be making some FIBA coverage for that. I love international basketball, so I will definitely be making probably at least a prediction video for it, probably more videos, just because it's my favorite type of basketball, if I'm being honest. Honestly, over the NBA. I like international basketball more than I like the NBA at this point in my life. So thank you guys for watching up to this point. Thank you guys for continuing to view my channel. I know I don't post the most frequently. I'm not on a very good schedule. It's because of my job. I just work a lot of hours, but that will be changing in the not too distant future. I will get a more reasonable hour job. I'll have more time to make YouTube videos and things will be getting a lot better. So thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.